When Calhoun was talking about Bolivar, he asked me if he had a passion for money. I answered no, because his two dominant passions were glory and power. Welcome back to We Play Games. I'm Walker, and here we are in Crusader Kings 3, about to play out the second half of King Vinicio of Ecuador's reign. So this character took over when he was extremely young as the Duke of Pinchincha, but here in Quito, we've managed to slowly but surely accumulate personal power for ourselves. And King Vinicio of Ecuador, a compassionate, diligent, albeit fickle character, Midas-touched, this character recognizes Santander, who's an incredibly important figure in the history of the development of Gran Colombia, and for that matter, New Granada afterwards. And so we're going to look towards Santander as sort of our goal. We're going to try to take as much of this territory within this empire of Colombia as possible without having to do fights, because we are in a really nice position here. We actually have a diplomatic court, and a diplomatic court with very high grandeur is actually going to increase your chance of getting offer vassalage acceptance. So what we're going to do, of course, here is just crank our grandeur to the absolute max, get a lot of really big court amenities, put all this money that we've accumulated to work, and pick up a couple of nice little royal court positions, and then see how much of this territory we can annex just through good words and hopefully a little bit more pilgrimage doing, because I don't feel like I've gotten the pilgrimage bug quite out of my spirit just yet. There's just so much fun stuff that you get to explore in this world of CK3 after the end. But we are in kind of like a tense situation here. There's Inti faith now spreading in Ecuador, so it looks like the Inkari faith has kind of subsided, and the characters here who were Inkari have now become Inti. But this, of course, means that now there's a potential dangerous alliance between this duchy here inside of our borders and Tawantinsuyu itself. Tawantinsuyu being as powerful as it is, we do not want those guys being able to interfere out here. So what we're going to do here is a holy war, but we're going to do a holy war for the entire kingdom. We're just going to try to push the Inti faith out. Because we are basically the same faith in a lot of ways, or at least in the core way, saintly spirits, the Patria Grande and Madre Patriota faith actually can't declare holy wars against each other, and so we're not going to have a lot of opportunities to do holy wars anyway, and I think clearing out this back-end territory is going to be really, really necessary if we want to take some really nice, big, long pilgrimages throughout the entirety of the Caribbean here, and I think that is going to be a goal for Vinicio. If we can get out to Santo Domingo or out to Jamaica, I'd like to. I think it'd be fun. But it would be dangerous if we didn't get rid of this guy first. So we're going to have to declare a holy war. But most of our stuff here is not going to be expanding by a war. I promise. Whenever possible, we will expand peacefully. Looks like we're going to be able to execute this holy war like just in time, because people are starting to come out of the woodwork to support independence for the Inti people. And just like that, we have defeated this duke, and now we have control over almost the entirety of the Kingdom of Ecuador. Now, there is still this independent duchy here in Manabí. We can't quite bring them in with low feudal vassal obligations, but considering the current setup here, I think I'm inclined to try to bring them in with normal feudal obligations if we can swing that, because the stronger you can get stuff, the better. You can only sign those contracts once. We're also going to go ahead and juice our diplomacy here by just adding some bowmen. The stronger our military can be, the more we can negotiate from a position of armed, I wouldn't say neutrality, but armed niceness, I guess. Oh, we've become known as the Pilgrim. I mean, that makes sense. We are the Pilgrim when it comes down to what we've been spending all our money on. And now we've picked up Architect. So we're going to be in a position where if we have a lot of money towards the end of Vinicio's reign, I am going to just do a lot of building here inside of Gran Colombia. But there's no reason for us to not bounce over to scholarship now. A, we already have access to centralization, so we have permanent development growth in our capital, so this is just going to be really nice. But B, we are going to want to pick up at the very least this little bit of the scholar tree. I think we're just going to go all the way down the scholar tree, but apostate and open-minded are going to make it really, really easy for us to do some diplomatic expansion. Oh, excellent. Our vassal here has actually expanded into El Pacifico, conquered most of this duchy here, and now, of course, we're just growing as peacefully as we can. So now we have enough gold that we could found a holy order, but I think rather than founding a holy order, what we're going to do is this long-delayed super pilgrimage that I think we had planned out here. So we're going to go to Caracas, but we're not going to just go to Caracas. We're going to go all over the place. So we're going to customize our route. We're going to go first to the capital here of Sipan, and then we're basically just going to like wander all over the Caribbean basin here, because I want to hit as many of these capitals as we can. The more of these territories we go to, of course, the more lifestyle experience we'll get, but we'll also get cultural acceptance, and I think we really are trying to position ourselves as being one of the most powerful culturally acceptance kingdoms in the after the end world here. So yeah, that is going to be one heck of a loop that we're going to have to execute here. 2 years of travel, but I like what we're doing. We're kind of just spreading the good word that Gran Colombia is probably coming back, or at least hopefully coming back. And of course, because we are the pilgrim, I'm hoping this is going to give us an opportunity to burn off a lot of stress. Poor Vinicio, diligent, is always stressed out doing this sort of stuff. Oh, and we've picked up enough diplomacy points just by doing all of this traveling that we can actually pick up the befriend scheme. I think that'll be really, really helpful when it comes to bringing some of these powerful duchies into our sphere of influence. And now we've become grand enough that Manabi will actually join the Kingdom of Ecuador on normal feudal obligations. That's really, really nice. I'm actually going to go ahead and bring Caqueta in on low feudal obligations. Obviously, it'd be better if we could get normal, but I'm anxious to get this treaty signed before Graciliano dies, because his heir, being paranoid, is going to be a lot less likely to want to jump in on our growing kingdom here. Oh, and Sebastian II is actually willing to jump in if we offer him a religious exemption, which is like kind of exactly what we're doing here. Trying to get as strong as we can by just expanding our borders as quickly as possible, as peacefully as possible. That's I think what we're all about. Unfortunately, we don't have any female children yet, so we're not at the point where we're going to have a female succession in Madre Patria, but maybe Maria will give us a daughter towards the end of her life, or towards the end of her childbearing life at least. And now we have actually become a religious icon, and because we control at least one holy site, we're an organized faith, that means we can actually become a paragon here, get 500 extra renown. This is going to be fantastic for the dynasty that we're building out here. Also pick up ordained rulership just so we can push through to treasured knowledge if Vinicio is able to pick up that much extra renown. And now we have finally returned home. Fantastic, because we wanted to end that regency and get back to hopefully founding a holy order here in short order. We do have plenty of gold for it, but we do want to spend some gold just trying to improve relationships with some of these guys out here. Like anybody who we can bring in through vassalage, I'm there for it. And hey, guess what? We have another vassal who we can bring in with a religious exemption. And because we are a diplomatic court, we can actually befriend people and hopefully run 2 different schemes at once, as long as we can keep 10 grandeur around. And that would be really, really nice. Being able to pick these guys up for free is definitely the goal. But this Eje Cafeterio, it's a Tridente Catholic church, and they are opposed to us. They do not like the fact that we worship strange gods. So we are going to have to declare a holy war here just to link up our territory with Antioquia. This guy here, Duke Atanasio II the Hideous, if we can befriend him, we can probably bring him in as a vassal, but not if our territories are disconnected. And this guy, he's gonna get in the way kind of no matter what, so we'll go ahead and declare war here. Oh my god. So we sponsored an inspiration, and we managed to get an illustrious regalia here. Oh, and a daughter at the same time, Adriana. Perfect. So Adriana, of course, is going to be our heir, because we are a Madre Patriota and therefore female-dominated faith. But I love the fact that now we have a female heir finally. Gives us some real spice to work around with. Oh no, Adriana has picked up sickly. Adriana, please, you have to hold on. You're the chosen one. Well, it looks like we pushed the Inti out of our territory just about as late as we could, because now they are on the warpath. These 10,000 troops, they are attacking Lima. Pretty dangerous, but at least we got the territory we needed to help our growth keep on growing. Oh yes, we're getting an opportunity to weave a really powerful artifact here. The more grandeur we can get from like a long-term permanent thing rather than just nice little events, the better. Because I'd like to be at a permanent 10 grandeur so long as we're around. Oh, excellent. We got a little bit of extra renown. The more renown you can get, obviously, in like a long campaign, the better. But if we can get it in an early campaign, like a short term like this, I'm still happy to pick it up. And now we can actually get Kauka to join our kingdom here by offering them religious exemption, but the border expansion isn't going to stop there. If we pick up Kauka, we're going to have now enough territory inside of El Pacifico to usurp this territory. We just need 500 gold, and then we can usurp that. It'll cause the kingdom to collapse, which will make some of them angry, but of course if we break the kingdom apart, we can invite them in as parts of our vassal structure just as easily as we've been expanding here. Oh yes, and now we can actually bring Antioquia in with, again, a religious exemption, but I don't mind offering all these religious exemptions. I think it's A, flavorful for a Santander fanboy like Vinicio, and B, it's just lets us plow through the land. Oh my god. Yeah. Look at this. Look how big Ecuador has gotten with a relatively peaceful description of events. We're up to 57 of the 75 de jure counties we need in order to recreate the Empire of Colombia. Wow, we are really closing in on that. But we are going to need to fight a war against Caribe in order to make this empire reborn. Oh yes, Adriana has survived. She's broken through sickly, and now she's actually charming, so we could set her up with a diplomacy education. Then hopefully she'll have the diplomatic means necessary to hold Colombia together once we pass on and move elsewhere. You know, let's do another grand pilgrimage here. So we're gonna go now to Maracaibo rather than all the way out here to Caracas, simply because we can't go there so recently. But we can add another one of these loops where we just like visit a whole lot of different capitals. So let's customize that route. Let's add some interesting stops along the way. Oh yes, so out here on this great pilgrimage, we're actually going to pick up the Wise Man trait. Wise Man, for those of you guys who do not know, is really good because it does give you the ability to spend just a tiny amount of piety for 300 learning lifestyle experience. 300 lifestyle experience is just about the best text you can find on anything when your character is going to stick around for a little while. And now we've picked up sanctioned loopholes. With a buy-claim interaction, we are going to be able to dramatically expand, although we are going to need to pick up a really nice technology for us. We're going to need Divine Right. Divine Right is going to let us press several claims in a single war. Therefore, we can just like kind of plow a whole lot of resources into getting claims all over El Caribe, and then conquer it in one war as long as we have that technology online. We'll also go ahead and found a Holy Order. I think a Holy Order is going to help this empire hold on to its territory and maybe even expand once we're at that point. Oh yes, we've picked up enough renown that we can actually move into treasured knowledge. We don't really need to do like stacking development growth. I just think it would be nice if we got Quito to be just a really powerful bright spot here in terms of development. Oh yes, and our court artificer is ready to write another book. So we're gonna get this court really stacked while we still have time. And we're in fine health, so we're not about to die, but no man lives forever. That is the mission here in CK3. Now we've picked up Scholar, so we are gonna just be able to blast through technologies now with our 57 learning. Ridiculous. Ooh, yes, another illustrious item for our collection. And that's a really good one, too. That's one of these things that's going to have lasting impact on the development of the kingdom. And that is kind of how we're going to be emulating Santander. We're going to do whatever we can in order to build our prestige and our court grandeur up. But we're also going to make sure that we're doing whatever we can to make the kingdom feel like a place everybody wants to live. So we've become a poet in addition to being a scholar and a wise man. And of course, you know, underneath it all, King Vinicio is also a witch, although people are not in on that secret, not just yet. Now we're just going to start saving up just like a gigantic war chest, because we are going to need to conquer El Caribe just directly by picking up claims on all of this territory. We should have just enough that we can form the Kingdom of Colombia, or the Empire of Colombia. But we're gonna need a lot of cash for that too. 800 gold ain't nothing. And so this empire, it's going to be expensive to put together, but it should be fun. But we do want to prepare for it. Sometimes you want to reinvest your gold and, make sure that your economy is still growing. But sometimes that there's just going to be a massive amount of expenditures down the road, in which case it can make sense to bank a bunch of cash up front. Because we are only 3 years away from Divine Right. And with Divine Right, we can press all of the claims that we have simultaneously, which means that we should be able to take basically the entirety of the kingdom in one war. Uh-oh, somebody has actually discovered that we are a witch and is now blackmailing us. This might be an opportunity for us to get rid of that vassal, just bury him under a ducal title. So we'll create the duchy here, and I guess we'll give it away to... we'll give it to this guy right here, Cristobal of Cuenca. So that way that jerk can't force his way onto our council. But I guess that's the danger of becoming a witch. Somebody somewhere might find out what we're up to. And you know what? I think we're actually going to switch over to a diplomacy lifestyle real fast, because I think what I'd like to get down to is this vassalization acceptance. If we can get plus 20 here through True Ruler, we might be able to convince some of these kingdoms out here to jump in on the empire, assuming we live long enough to make that reality. Oh no! Maria, our wife, has died under mysterious circumstances. Well, that means somebody's out there trying to get rid of our line. But as it stands, I don't think we really need another wife. We have 3 kids. I think that's good enough. I'm not looking to have a split inheritance with this empire that we're building here. Not just yet. And now we've picked up Divine Right, and because of that, we're going to be able to press our claims on the entirety of the Kingdom of El Caribe in one war. It's going to cost a ton of prestige, but you know what? We got tons of prestige to throw around, and I'm not afraid of a fight against these guys. If we can pull in some of our allies, should be a pretty easy victory here. And from there, we should be able to form the Empire of Colombia, and then we can see how many of these kingdoms we can convince to just jump in for a song and a dance. Oh my god. Alright, so King Vinicio, his health is poor, but here we have the opportunity to pick up Invigorated, which is 10 more years of life for our king, almost certainly, because an invigorated health boost means it's extremely unlikely we're going to be able to die from any sort of sickness. And if we can have 10 years as an emperor, we should have a pretty easy time convincing some of these territories out here to sign up for our new vision of Gran Colombia. Yes, we have seized basically the entire kingdom here of El Caribe. Perfect. And with that seizure, now we should have all we need in order to form the empire. We're at 76 of the de jure counties required out of 75. So now we've founded the Empire of Colombia. But of course, Vinicio's work is not done with just that. We'll see if we can do anything to bring some of these kings in. Now, of course, because they are kingdoms, they're going to have a minus 100% on accepting these vassalages. But we should have an easy route in to pick up Patriarch Hernan if we're working on it. Now we're also going to go ahead and establish a tradition for Xenophilic. If we can get that done, even if we can't, because, Vinicio is not going to last forever, we should have a pretty easy time keeping this empire together, at least as long as everyone respects each other, because there are going to be some pretty different religions within our realm. Oh man, I'm really glad that we've been pushing our borders as quickly as we can as Colombia, and that we pushed out the Inti, because Tawantinsuyu is coming. Holy cow. With a 23 martial emperor nonetheless. So there's gonna be a real clash of the titans over here, most likely. You know what, let's do another grand pilgrimage. We've got the cash to burn now, and I think a big pilgrimage to take us into Mexico, and then of course into the southern part of the Gulf of Mexico would be a good way to announce to the world that Colombia has returned. Holy cow, Sipan is about to get just completely devoured while we're out here. They're losing another holy war. Oh no, our best friend has died gout-ridden, but I guess we've experienced some level of catharsis, and now we're not as heartbroken as we were after the death of our friend. But here's an opportunity for us to go ahead and see if we can pull this Content character in. We're not the rightful liege, and she is a matriarch, but we might have a leg up. Well, I guess the new matriarch of Surya has become our best friend in place of her past mother, and we achieved level 4 worldliness in that giant trek. Good. That'll give us a lot of extra cultural acceptance. Hopefully it'll help us overcome the I'm a king malice. Unlikely, but if we can annex an entire kingdom without a war, I'll feel really, really good. You know, we didn't go all the way through the scholar tree to pick up buy claims just so we couldn't use them. So I think although it would be more flavorful for us to figure out a way to diplomatically annex Venezuela, we have the military strength and the resources to just do it militarily, so let's go. Oh no, our half-sister has died of old age, and now our alliance with the clan of Surya has nominally broken down. We'll see how we move forward from here. I don't think that there's any reason for Vinicio to declare war on some of his friends out here, and we have a lot of friends. So we might be limited to expansion into a couple of different areas, like we got Zamora out here. Oh, they're our friend. Well, we'll have a friend here that we are going to actually be able to vassalize, because it is just a account. And then from there, maybe we vassalize these guys. They are also not particularly powerful, but the more territory we can pick up ASAP, the better. It's kind of like always the rule here in Crusader Kings 3. Yes, just like that, we have actually defeated Venezuela, and we're going to be able to launch just a super invasion. Just, oh, look at this. Look at all this stuff we're getting. Oh, baby, we can follow it up by immediately vassalizing this territory and expanding Gran Colombian influence into 5 Guyanas. So this empire we're gonna leave behind is gonna have a lot of pieces that's gonna need to bring back together. But I think that the AI should have a pretty easy time with that. We're giving them plenty of resources to simultaneously expand and try to form Gran Colombia while also resisting Tawantinsuyu. 13,000 troops means they're pretty similar to us in terms of real strength, but oh my god, look, Brazil has completely collapsed. That is exactly what I was looking for. Because that means that if we want, I think our next character might be trying to piece this back together. That would be really, really fun. Oh, alright, so something just happened here. I'm not entirely sure what. We got a succession, and it meant that all of a sudden our father, Vinicio, although he's still an incredibly powerful figure here within the realm, he's actually stepped down as the emperor itself. The empire title has passed to Adriana, but maybe that's actually what's happening here in the world, is that the empire title, Vinicio has stepped away from direct rule and has brought Adriana into court to help the transition be a little smoother. Because of course, Vinicio, he's not going to last forever. His health is fine, but it's only fine right now because we do have that gigantic health boost from rat hunting and from a lot of the nice little bonuses we've picked up along the way. But rather than having Vinicio live until he's 97 or whatever, we're gonna have him go ahead and serve as a power behind the throne, right? This guy is going to eventually die and pass his territories over to Princess Adriana, but he's sort of abdicated. I think it was probably related to a death here in the theocracy. No, it did not happen at the same time. I don't know if you work on the After the End mod and you have any idea why all of a sudden the empire title succeeded to Adriana, let me know. But it's passed to her, and I feel like this is a good opportunity for us to go ahead and move to another area of the world, because although there was a little bit of cleanup here and maybe we could have vassalized some of these guys via diplomacy, Gran Colombia is well on its way to coming back into the world of After the End. We'll move into Brazil in our next episode. I'll find another interesting character, somebody we can play around with. But that's it for Power and Glory here on We Play Games. That's Walker. Take care.